Hello friends, this is Rajneesh Rathore. Hope you all are doing great. Today I'm gonna discuss you the DNS interview questions and answers. We will start from basic questions and then move to medium level, and last we will discuss the advanced level question and answers. We keep on uploading videos on important topics related to Active Directory and Windows. So friends, please subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed yet, and press bell icon as well so that you can get notification of upcoming videos. So let's start from question number 4. Question number first is, what is DNS and what does it do? The answer is, DNS stands for domain name system. The main function of DNS is to translate domain name into IP address, which computer can understand. Domain name system is used to resolve human readable host name like www.dyn.com into machine readable IP addresses like 204.13.248.115. DNS also provides other information about domain names such as mail services. Next question is, what is forward and reverse lookup zone in DNS? Answer is, forward DNS lookup is using an internet domain name to find an IP addresses. Reverse DNS lookup is using an internet IP address to find a domain name. Next question is, what is standard primary zone? The answer is, primary zone. DNS server hosts a primary zone and it stores the master copy of zone data in a local file or in ADDS. What is standard secondary zone? The answer is, secondary zone is merely a copy of primary zone that is hosted on another server. Secondary zone are a DNS feature that allows the entire DNS database from a master DNS server to be transferred to the secondary. A secondary zone allows an organization to provide fault tolerance and load balancing to internal names. Next question is, what is AD integrated zone? Answer is, Active Directory integrated zone data is stored as an Active Directory object and is replicated as part of domain replication. This has the following advantages. Advantage number 1, no single point of failure, fault tolerance, single replication topology, secure dynamic updates. Next question is, what is STUB zone? Answer is, a STUB zone is a copy of zone that contains only those resources records necessary to identify the authoritative domain name system server for that zone. A STUB zone is used to resolve names between separate DNS namespace. What is forwarder? Answer is, a forwarder is a domain name system server on a network used to forward DNS query for external DNS name to DNS servers outside of that network. You can also forward query according to a specific domain name using conditional forwarders. So this is an example I'm giving you. You can see in the image the workstation sending the query to preferred DNS server. Preferred DNS server is the server that you mention in the computer's TCP/IP setting. Then preferred server forwarding the query to root level DNS server, COM level DNS server, and other DNS server. Move to next question. What is DNS query? A DNS query is the process of a computer or networking device making an inquiry to get an IP address for a DNS name such as w3.org. The client computer will send a DNS query to one of their internet service providers' DNS servers. What is recursive query? A recursive query is a kind of query in which the DNS server who received your query will do all the job of fetching the answers and giving it back to you. During this process, the DNS server might also query other DNS servers in the internet on your behalf for the answer. You can see the example in the pic. What is iterative query? The answer is an iterative query is one in which a DNS client allows the DNS server to return the best answer it can give based on its cache or its own data. What is non-authoritative DNS server? Non-authoritative DNS server do not contain original source file of domains zone. They have a cache file for the domains that is constructed from all the DNS lookups done previously. If a DNS server responded for a DNS query which does not have original file is known as a non-authoritative answer. For example, we query for DNS records of domain techadmin.net and Google's Open DNS Server 8.8.8.8 responded for this query which doesn't contain domain's original zone file. This answer is known as a non-authoritative answer. You can see in the picture we perform the nslookup techadmin.net, and here you can see I'm moving the mouse. Here you can see it revert back for non-authoritative answer. You can see the clearly. Move to next question. What is authoritative DNS server? An authoritative name server is name server that has the original source file of a domain zone file. Very simple. This is where domain administrator has configured the DNS records for a domain. Authoritative DNS server can be master DNS server of its slaves. Next question is, what is authoritative DNS server? For example, domain techadmin.net's authoritative are alec.ns, cloudflare.com and athena.ns, cloudflare.com. If you directly query to these DNS servers, they will return authoritative answer because they have the original files of domain zone. You can see in the picture. Here you cannot see non-authoritative answer. This is the authoritative answer. Next question is, how could you get an authoritative answer using nslookup? The answer is, to get an authoritative answer, you need to go to the source. You can do this by specifying the authoritative name server at the end of the request. Use the type is equal to SOA option to tell nslookup to display the authoritative or primary name server. The address labeled primary name server is the DNS authority for the domain. What is the DNS resource record? Zone DNS database is a collection of resource records, and each of the records provides information about a specific object. Next question is, what are the main DNS records? Address mapping records, A record. The record A specify IP addresses for given host. The A record are used for conversion of domain names to corresponding IP address. IPv6 address record, or we can say 4 times A. The record A also provide quad A record. It specifies IPv6 addresses for given host, so it works the same way as the A record, and the difference is the type of IP addresses. Canonical name record, or CNAME. The CNAME record specifies a domain name that has to be queried in order to resolve the original DNS query. Therefore, CNAME records are used for creating aliases of domain names. CNAME records are truly useful when we want a alias or domain to an external domain. In other cases, we can remove CNAME's records and replace them with the A records and even decrease performance overhead. Mail Exchange Record or MX record. The MX resource record specifies a mail exchange server for a DNS domain name. The information is used by Simple Mail Transfer Protocol (SMTP) to route email to proper host. Typically, there are more than one mail exchange server for a DNS domain, and each of them have set priority. Name Server Record or NS record. The NS record specifies an authoritative name server for given host. Reverse lookup pointer record or PTR record. As opposed to forwarded DNS resolution A and quad A DNS records, the PTR record is used to look up domain names based on an IP address. Start of Authority Record or SOA. The record specifies core information about the DNS zone, including the primary name server, the mail of the domain administrator, the domain serial number, and several times relating to referencing the zone. What is the SRV record? The SRV record is a domain name system resource record that is used to identify computers that host specific services. SRV resource records are used to locate domain controllers for Active Directory. The next question is, in what partition of AD DNS data is stored? The answer is application partition of Active Directory. Next question is, what is DNS spoofing? DNS spoofing, also referred to as DNS gas poisoning, is a form of computer security hacking in which corrupt domain name system data is introduced into the DNS resolver's cache, causing the name server to return an incorrect result record. What is static and dynamic DNS record? Manually created DNS entry called static record and the record created automatically by the system DSCP itself called dynamic DNS record. Static records are not easy to manage as the IP addresses changes will not update automatically. We have to update manually. Next question is, what is dynamic DNS DDNS? Dynamic DNS or DDNS is a method of updating a DNS record. DDNS is preferred most of the organizations since it's easy to maintain and you always get the latest update IP addresses of the servers and computers. The next question is, what is caching only server? Caching only server are those DNS servers that only perform name resolution queries, cache the answers, and return the result to the client. Once the query is stored in cache, next time the query is resolved locally from cache instead of going to the actual site. What is aging and scavenging? Aging and scavenging is a DNS server service which supports a mechanism for performing cleanup and removal of stale records or resource records which can accumulate in zone data over time to time. Resource record must be added dynamically to the zone or manually modified to be used in operations of aging and scavenging. Thank you friends for watching the video. Please subscribe and press bell icon to get notification of next videos. Thank you very much.